So there we are again, folks. I'm cutting down some huge black bamboo for the garden, and this is a big one. This is about 15 metres at least. Not that I'll take it out that big, I'm going to shorten it, but I've started digging already. If you can see, I've pulled one out so far. This is what we're chasing, this sort of stuff. Hard work, and that's what we want, the root. With the big rhizome coming off, perfect. Another one there. Plenty of roots, and I actually snapped this stem accidentally, but I'll be able to plant all these as well. These little roots off the side should grow if we cut them properly and put them in the right stuff. So the idea is to try to collect these fellas in the roots and go around the pot of dirt, right around there, and just get a nice clump. Maybe 300 or 400 millimetre base. You don't need that much. They're not that deep, but these are big boys. So there's another one here, but that's, I don't think he's going to know he's gone. Another one there that was dried out. It's easier than the trees I have dug, but anyway, the tools are the trick. Use the cutting tools and then try and loosen it with a pinch bar. These are two nice green stems this season. They've all got nice little shoots coming off them. Anyway, we'll keep going. we're getting there slowly. A couple of big culms come out, I got a few more to dig, and just thought I'd give you an update. Look at this one. Nice one with roots on it. These are really good because they've got fresh ones coming up. Look at this one. Boom, 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 boom. That's a dead fresh culm, that one. It's not even flowered yet, and it's about 5 metres long. I've forgotten what it's like to dig. Plenty of root base though. I think we'll be fine. A couple of big ones here though, and reasonably fresh. This is this season, and we got them at about 5 metres, so that's pretty good. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to show these huge bamboos on the truck, and they are 5 to 5.5 metre tall stems, and lifting huge root ball out of the ground of that woman's backyard by myself and putting them on a truck was probably why I didn't get a chance to video it. But anyway, I have them back in the garden now, and it's a windy day, so you're going to hear the wind chimes. But here's the first one we've just lifted in. We're taking a bit of a punt that these will actually take. There's some lovely new roots coming up. So we're hoping that that they'll come up this big next season. I don't expect much out of it this season because they're going to be in a bit of trauma. These two green ones are fresh stems. All the way up. There's the head of it just there, you can see. So I don't think that's going to grow much more. It's going to have a little bit of stress, so it'll probably pull up right there. But if I keep the roots fed and hope, say a little prayer, next season we should have ginormous black Timor bamboo coming up in front of these pines, or lady oaks, or she oaks they call them. So that's the first one in. I'll show you the next one. A bit of a messy backyard. The gum tree's shedding its bark, as you can see. I have to collect it all. For about a month it just drops every bit of bark it has. I'll show you that. See, it's just got bark shredding all over it. So while it does that, I'm glad it's windy because it does pull the bark off. But as you can see, we do end up with big pieces of bark laying all over the place. Look at the size of this. But I'm happy to see these come down because it means they're coming off the tree. So my job for a month is just picking up bark and collecting and shredding it. So this is the next set we got here. Put them in water for 24 hours since I picked them up on the weekend because they hadn't had a drink for a long time, and it was an extremely hot day when I got them. So I figure I'll give them a good 24 hours, just soak the root ball in water. These are big ones too, they go all the way up. The leaves are showing a little bit of stress, a bit dry. Thought they would have come back a bit better with the water, but we'll see. These ones are still good. That's still nice. And we do have a stem here with a bit of green foliage on it, so it can still feed. And so I'm about to lift this one out. Just making up a new slurry of perlite and nice bit of soil, a touch of cow manure and peat moss, basically. Just trying to give it a decent start. So we will pop that in and I'll show you the next one. We're going to put this one in a pot. That one in the ground that we just did. There's another big one over the back, way over there. I'm going to put that in a pot as well. And we did end up with a single shoot. Here it is here. We just popped it in and it's a single stem this year's growth. So that's all of it in one season. I would like to think that will grab and take, but we can only wait. And that's just standard potting mix. So I'll just get to see which one works. Anyway, and then this big root here we got. I've got that in a standard potting mix as well. So that's the size of the bamboo stems. And that'll go 5, 6, actually the tree was 15 metres tall, so ideally that could go to 10 metres without any problems. And that's what we would like to see. But whether it takes or not, ideally you just got to wait and see. We're taking a bit of a punt. It was about a 4 to 5 hour dig to get all this out. But the cost was only $50. So very cheap to buy bamboo this size. Bamboo is worth so much money if you've ever priced it. And to get it this big and mature and get it to take would be ideal. I shall keep you posted. Alright, so when we got all this bamboo, we also took a couple of huge big culms, green fresh shoots. So what we're going to do is try and propagate these fellas into big plants. I've got about 20 or 30 of these. And ideally the trick, which I'll show you, where are we? I'm not sure if you can see this, but what I've got to try to do is scratch I don't know if you saw that, but I've used a saw blade and scratched all around there. So ideally I'm going to put some worm castings around this, and the new shoots or the new roots should break through here, allowing that plant to become a new bamboo growing with its own roots instead of being just a shaft on the sides. We have to pull all this leafy stuff off. Okay, I missed that last bit of footage, but I've scratched all these up now. Quite difficult with one hand on a saw and one hand on the shoot. But anyway, now I've got the worm castings and I've wrapped them all, or quite a few of them, in Glad wrap. So I've pounded the worm castings all around the base of that, and I've wrapped it with some Glad wrap to keep the moisture in. And then the other ones, I'm going to try those with that technique. And the other ones in here, just in some fresh soil, the perlite. And the new ones, these ones, I'm going to try a few of these. So I'm just going to push them in. And just see what happens. I'm not going to get many in here because they've got lots of leaf. But ideally I'm just going to plant them like that. As many as I can in this big broken tub. And see how that goes. Alright, success. So, there they all are, sitting in there. This is a bit of a mix of topsoil, perlite and a little tiny bit of cow manure. This is pure cow manure, so if these things, bit heavy duty for these, I don't think they'll take, but if they do, it'll be supersonic bamboo. Pure cow manure, 100%. Those ones are in worm castings. That's probably the best stuff you could put them in. I've chucked a few in that pot there just to see what happens. Straight soil. Now it's a waiting game. So we have the big ones in there. The other one's in the ground, which is in there, which we put this before. Hoping that one grows. A ton of bark to shred. And we just wait. This is sort of like middle of the development stage when you do all this sort of stuff. The garden always looks a bit scattered and a bit yuck because you're waiting for all the new plants to boom. A couple of the elephant ears, which I've successfully worked out how to grow now. I love my elephant ears. And we do have a newcomer down here. We've got a couple of Alphonse Carr bamboo. This is a really shitty spot to grow, but it's a decent stem coming out of the ground. Lovely. Another one here. Pretty dry here, but they grow okay. I water them enough. It's crappy ground, just clay. And this season the bamboo is coming up through the top, as you can see them. A couple of nice new shoots through here with stripes on them. You see these ones? Well known for their little green stripes. So hopefully another year or two these will be nice and fat. But they're all going to come up and peak through another metre up here today, which is this year, which will be nice. That'll give us a good block from the houses behind. Yeah, so I will add on to this video once I'll come back in a week and see if we've got any roots in these pots. Alright, it's been about a month and I just thought I would update how these ones are doing, and we're just going to take these out today. See the nice green shoot coming off there. So these ones have started to grow, and when we unwrap them there is a visual shoot on a couple of them, so they're absolutely growing, which is good. This one here has got 3 nice little shoots growing from where I've cut it. So definitely a success at this stage. Can't see any around the base of that. But another one down there. And these ones are the same, because this one's got a little shoot. This is just the soil. And one at the back there's got 2 little shoots, not as strong a growing, but there's 2 little shoots coming off that one. Little shoot down there. There wouldn't be anything coming out the ground at this stage, but at least there's one here. Nice green shoot, so it's definitely growing. This has come up about an inch, this big one, because it was down here. And we put a couple in the ground. So we're trying to do a wall of black bamboo that comes all the way across. But this one here had a nice shoot right at the base where the worm castings were, and a nice green shoot coming up right there. This one's got the same, and another shoot again that we've put in. So just in some nice soil in behind the fern tree. Not full sun, but not all day shade, bit of both. And we're keeping our eye on this fella. Doesn't seem to be doing much, but it's not looking like it's dying. This one's looking a little dry. But just praying this big one keeps going. This is the most important one. These big ones. So the only bit of leaf that it has is up there, but it's not dead, it's still full leaf. Hoping that this big fresh stem doesn't snap, because they have a tendency to snap. About there they'll break. Don't know why, they just get weak and break. But it's warm to touch, so it's a lovely green stripe running up, a yellow stripe, which means that the stem will turn black and the stripe stays green, like this here. It's a yellowy green stripe. This one I think is lost his colouring because it's too old. Anyway.